welcome back everybody to another GSA special. Today, we have got the very illustrious, very industrious, beautiful, arguably, sexy guys, Cheese representing Counter Logic Gaming, and Shansss representing
Ooh.
himself in court. This is Judge
In
Judy and
court.
both sides. And with me on the co-commentary, we've got Thero, and yeah, we've got a
What is
slam
up?
race today.
I'm super excited for this. Cheese trying to go for the doubleheader today. Nonstop action here on GSA for sure. And just in case, this is the very first match. Check out vi.gg. You have time to put in your bets. Get those bets in now. Check it out. Right after this is going to be Kopitz and Drogi. Right after that, Triforce, TK, and Retro Runs. Right after that, Cheese and Drogi. And then Paracusi and Toast Rider. Like nonstop action coming from GSA today for sure.
Absolutely nonstop, and I've got word that the originally planned commentator Electric will be, as originally planned, coming in here and taking my spot. So good luck with the comms, Thero. I'll be watching from the sidelines. Peace.
Sounds good. Alrighty. Let's get this party started. Getting the video up. Both of these guys warming up. We're going to keep the action going to you today.
Hello.
Electric, how are you on this live broadcast?
Doing great, Thero. Yeah, a little bit late, unfortunately. I just started playing Wind Waker, got lost in that sauce, and didn't realize we were starting so early, but a great start seems to be indeed.
For sure. We're talking about the nonstop action coming up through GSA. The tournament sponsored by vi.gg. You've got SM64 all night long. So now's the time. Get those Doritos out. Get the taco party packs. Bring your spaghetti. Get the wife, the kids, the hubby, everybody sitting down on the couch to watch like 5 hours of SM64 coming up.
Absolutely. And what more could you want on, this Monday night, not really doing a whole lot, just watching some SM64. Watch them manipulate this red man around this digital arena. So we've got... Oh, you go ahead.
You've got Cheese, of course. He is the current world record holder. Tago, less than a second behind him today with the PB. So kind of nipping at his heels. And against Shansss on the other side, the keyboard master, the keyboard warrior, the guy with the magical angles. I think we're going to see a great showing from both of these runners today.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this. Some people may think it's a blowout, but Shansss has definitely demonstrated a lot of skill on those keys. So I think it's going to be a match to watch for sure.
He's done a great job going through this tournament. He's played very well, very consistent. Cheese at this point talking a little bit about a headache before. I hope it doesn't affect him for this match, but we will see. Cheese has got that muscle memory kind of built into him to be able to run these routes and I don't want to say like sleep, but we call it going cheese for a reason. He tends to just pop off. So I'm excited to see what both these runners are going to do. As we get started now, going to take us a second to get all synced up. Cheese having an issue with his splits. We're going to get that taken care of really quick here. Cheese rocking the Japanese version over Shansss rocking the US version. We know that the US version is the preferred version for 70 star. Has to do with the text boxes and things. We saw the retimes because of that this week. It's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. And I mean, with someone like Cheese, I feel like his familiarity with the Japanese version is probably going to give him a little bit of an edge over some people that would take the Japanese version. It looks like from the back, we may actually be restarting this race due to Cheese's split issue. Definitely, live split can be a bit of a hassle sometimes for sure. We see them both waiting on this text box, so definitely restarting. Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay.
For sure. Now, through 70 star, we weren't able to talk to the runners before the race to kind of see what the routes are going to be. We've seen so many variations going through this 70 star tournament, whether it be CCM 17, followed up with the double pillarless, CCM 17, and adding a THA red, seems the more traditional route, CCM 18. Some even electing to do HMC early, which is that old school feel type of route.
Yep, we don't see a whole lot of HMC early anymore since the realization that getting that MIP star will actually save a second if done optimally. So we'll be looking at a match here. I think Cheese will probably be going for the traditional CCM 18 HMC late route, but hey, we'll never know.
Never know for sure. We talk to different runners and what's going through their head. As they're going through, are they watching the other person? That kind of changes what their mentality is going forward. We see Cheese on that Japanese version. The intro is a little bit faster, but it's the text boxes specifically that get you on that Japanese version. Starting off this race.
All right, so we'll see if both these guys can get Lakitu skip. Pretty consistent from both as far as I've seen in the previous matches.
Now, all of the races that I've commentated, I'll be perfectly honest with you. The ones that have missed Lakitu skip here in the beginning have actually been the ones to win the race. I think that pep talk with Lakitu in the beginning helps out quite a bit, saying, bruh, we need to get these angles, we need to do the thing. So both of them electing not to talk to Lakitu here. We'll see if it's detrimental to them later on here in this race.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, Lakitu may be working a bit behind the scenes, may be able to rearrange those ones and zeros a bit while Shan's having a little bit of trouble gripping that bomb. I mean, look at him. Totally smooth surface. You really can't get a good grip on him.
Well, and it's all about those angles. Lining up a bomb clip specifically. You got to remember that he is on keyboard, so he doesn't have the ability, the freedom of that joystick to be able to wiggle it around. He's got 4 buttons to use, so you're almost limited to, I believe, 8 angles total. So seeing the manipulation is different. We've seen different camera angles from him, and I'm always excited to watch him race. Headed in for the first slide. What do you think Cheese is going to get here?
Looking at his opening here, I'm thinking we'll see a 12-7. Meanwhile, Shan's, I think 12-7s from both, actually.
12-7 from both. We've got a 12
actually,
East.
Ooh, yeah, that dismount was a little bit off, I think, from Shan's, resulting in that little bit of time loss, but that's okay. Still got another shot at that slide later on, and now we're going to see both these guys go into Wumps, and this is where things get real. I mean, Wumps Fortress, he's not defending himself from traditional enemies. He's defending himself from Mario going fast. You've got Cannonless, you've got Owlist, you've got that Wumps 100 route that has been grueling for a lot of players. I mean, this is really the game's first line of defense against people attempting to speedrun it. So we'll see how these guys decide to tackle it. Cheese going first for Cannonless. Pretty reliable. We've seen a lot of people do this. And he's going for that stock folder setup. In runs, he normally uses texture setup, but that extra consistency from stock folder definitely will benefit him. Meanwhile, Shan's missing Owlist. I mean, we're probably going to talk it into the ground and beyond, but Shan's on keyboard. I can't imagine how much more difficult Owlist is for him.
Oh, for sure. Cheese does have that advantage. It's tough playing on keyboard. Your controller dies and you're going into that Mario withdrawal. So you're like, you know what? I'll try on keyboard. And it's definitely a different experience. Did you know that you can actually play SM64 on your phone as well through an emulator?
I have heard about that, but man, I don't really trust those touch controls. I haven't had good experiences with them in anything except Game Boy, so
right.
A little bit hesitant to try it out for sure.
For sure. Cheese heading in right now. Looks like he's going to be going for that 100 coin. Movement looking solid. He wasn't feeling the best going into this run with a headache. But his gameplay, his movement is very, very on top of his game, I should say.
Yeah, very fluid movement. Catching that first cycle. Wow. That's something we've seen a lot of people mess up in the race. Either, the actual jump to the platform doesn't go super well for them. With Shan's right here, falling off that ledge, that is a very tight ledge because you're very close to grabbing that star and you're having to be just on the edge so that you can jump up onto the next ledge. Kind of slipping through almost. So he's getting a late cycle, but that's okay. Better than missing the cycle entirely and having to wait even longer.
You know, the nerves have got to be setting in for Shansss, knowing that you're going up against the current world record holder. World record stood now for, I believe, around 7 months. He's got to kind of be feeling the pressure a little bit coming down off of this. She's
Oh,
finishing up his 100 coin.
no doubt about that pressure. Now, Shan's in a little bit of a predicament here. He's got 8 coins in that circle. He's going to have to break that box, unfortunately. He took those lines at the beginning, taking that bonk now. The box just not quite having it. You know, definitely could have benefited from a little bit of a pep talk with Lakitu, but what can you do now? She's not missing any of his tricks, so he's going for that shoot into the blue star.
Now, we talked about, and I've had this conversation multiple times with Big Simp himself and Pity as well, how mental this game is. You know, yeah, your hands go into that muscle memory. You almost go into an autopilot a lot of times during these races. But taking a fall, even something small where you're only losing, 0.6 seconds, just a few frames, can really do a rough thing on your brain. The psychologicals start pumping. You're like, oh my God, how am I going to make this up? And you're not worried about what you're doing, so it throws you off. I think we're seeing that a little bit from Shansss here. Had a couple of small mistakes, nothing major, as he's going to fight Big Daddy Womp.
If he's trying to crush him, but ultimately when Mario's doing that ground pound, he just goes right through, finding those little cracks in the crevices of Womp's mouth, hiding out in there until he can get all the way through those more cracks in his back. Meanwhile, Cheese going ahead and climbing up that tower to finish out his Womp's fortress. A really solid showing from Cheese so far. I didn't see any major mistakes in his 100 coin. His outless and cannonless went perfect. He's definitely feeling himself right now. Maybe that headache is forcing him to rely a bit more on that muscle memory and is actually doing him a couple of favors.
I'm kind of looking at it like this. I wonder what kind of health plan that these Womps have. It seems like they're all missing teeth. Have you noticed that?
Definitely true. And I mean, the smile looks like they've got a little bit of the some type of jaw issue. Probably their jaw's been broken a few times, not quite rewired the right way. She's going back in that slide. I'm thinking we're going to see a 12-7. It's pretty rare to see double 12-6s, but the commentator probably going to get proven wrong by that curse. How about you, Thera? What do you think?
I'm thinking it's 12.6 as well. Cheese shows that consistency. He's run the game. 12.7, you were right. 0.1% off, or 0.1 seconds. I say 0.1% all the time. I don't know what it is. But yeah, Shan's going in for his second bite of this apple.
I'm feeling a 12-8 on him. I think it looks like he's got a better start, taking that wall a bit wide. Let's see how he takes this dive here.
A little bit better. And
2/10 of a second, still over 13, but still a great showing.
I still think that Cheese missing that coin. That's gonna hurt.
Absolutely.
It's these small opportunities that Shansss is going to have to really take advantage of. Cheese got the consistency behind him for sure. He's ran the game quite a bit. He knows what he's doing. Shansss is going to have to exploit any little time loss like that and play just a little bit better. Flying has got to be terrible on keyboard. I'm not going to lie. You don't have the yoke like you're flying an airplane. You've got directional keys,
Oh, yeah. And already the arcs are kind of non-intuitive. So, I mean, I'm thinking the way Shansss gets kind of those more precise angles is by like precise tapping. If you do like up left and then release the up and like kind of tap it real fast, you probably get a more left up left. So
right.
I'm just imagining his fingers going at it in that wing cap stage. I mean, he's got to be doing so much manipulation. She's getting that ledge grab definitely kills any hope of really early cycles like Xayah. Shigeru may still be on the table, but you have to see some great performance, barely avoiding those zappers, saying not on today.
The thing is that what we're seeing out of Cheese is what we kind of expect in that race environment. Taking it easy, going fast, but not pushing it to the point where you're taking ungodly amount of risks going through. We've seen that time and time and again. Just as Cheese is grabbing that star, solidifying his Dark World here, going to go see Bowser for the first time. Shansss pushing through again. These particular angles just insane to me. But I guess it's the same thing with that muscle memory kicking in.
I really want to see the size of his fingers that are controlling that analog stick, because I mean, he's got to be doing a ton of mashing. There's no way that his fingers aren't just huge at this point, honestly.
Like, are you saying it's like a finger workout club?
Oh, most definitely. You know, he's probably up there with like some of your professional guitarists, your professional trumpet players. You know, he's definitely got that dexterity, got that just real great finger action. He's able to probably put a lot of pressure down. You know, you definitely don't want to get in a fight with him and have him try to push your pressure points. Feel like that will be an instant loss.
For some reason, the only thing that I could think of was SpongeBob when he decided to start weightlifting. So, commentators getting off topic here as Sky Jump is being executed by Cheese.
Yep, I mean, during that Bowser cutscene, and I mean, I don't think I've actually seen a Dark World throw miss in this tournament. I could be wrong; it may have happened once, but it's pretty rare. Got that little bit of downtime. The mind wanders. Commentators not perfect, no exception, but Cheese getting that Sky Jump perfect. We'll see how Shansss handles it.
The hitboxes for sure. Not getting that that quick grab right there with the kick with this wing cap as he's heading up, nipping at Cheese's heels for sure. I know Cheese feels the pressure right now, wanting to give a great performance for the viewers out there as we head into that cool mountain.
So we'll see if wall kicks decide to work for Cheese, starting off with this start. Pretty common, and looks like it's good. We'll see if Shansss can go ahead and match that while Cheese moves on into the Penguin Star. I mean, we've said it so many times, but I just can't help but feel sorry for this Penguin. But I wonder, you know how little kids, they get excitement out of everything? I wonder if the Penguin thinks this is a roller coaster. I wonder if he actually enjoys it.
I mean, that's fair. But,
but
you'd think that there's a bonk right there from Shansss. Was able to recover, so he's going to back it up with the OG wall kicks will work here. Going to lose some time over Cheese here as Cheese not able to channel his Michael Jackson to get through that door.
What a shame, but go ahead.
I was going to say Cheese channels his Michael Jackson on every single stream. I don't know if you know that's his voice when someone subs in his channel. The hee. You know that's Cheese there.
Really? Because when you just did it, I could have sworn Cheese entered the call for just a second. Just maybe an octave lower or so.
I mean, have we ever been in the same place at the same time?
No. Commentator without professional soundboard, having to use vocal effects. Hope that chat does not mind.
We'll just have to get Simply in the call later to bust out those sound effects for us. Cheese having to hop over this penguin. The star spawns a little bit different between the US version and the Japanese version. In the Japanese version, the star spawns directly above the penguin, and you have to go over his hitbox to be able to grab the star. Cheese confirming CCM 18 here, just as Shansss is confirming CCM 17.
Yep, definitely a bit surprised Shansss going for that 17. I guess it just must be more familiar to him, but I tend to prefer the 18 route overall. Not sure if Shansss is going to end up attempting to skip TTC 100, but that's kind of where I definitely fall out of favor of some of those routing options, because I think Stomp on the Thwomp on it by itself is just awkward. Takes a while. Why not get 2 stars for the price of 1 there, I think.
Now, Cheese, if you notice, going through here now, did not get that safety red right there at the beginning. So he's not going to be able to miss nearly as much. Shansss has got the opportunity. He's got 99. He's going to grab this red, grab the star, and be done. So he's going to need 6 here.
Beautiful sliding from Cheese. I mean, that's confidence right there. That's why he didn't grab that safety red. This is just another walk in the park for him.
Over and over and over. I had the opportunity to talk to Blue Bob before this race, and we were kind of talking about stars to grind. It was in another chat, and he likes those CCM stars. He said it's really satisfying to do, like, wall kicks will work over and over and over, compared to some of the other stars you have to grind.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but Cheese on that end of the slide using a really awesome strat. Normally, if you see people trying to long jump over the penguin, you'll see them do a wall kick first, but he actually, I believe it was a backflip that he did to make contact with the upper part of that arch, stopping himself short of that wall, saving probably like half a second whenever he moved into his long jump. We're really seeing him pulling out a few of those advanced strats here that he just knows really well and he knows won't risk a whole lot.
Now, if you're just now tuning in, Shansss appears to be ahead of Cheese right now. However, that's not the case. If you keep an eye on that star count up in the top right hand up there, Cheese elected to do a CCM 18 route versus Shansss 17. So Cheese is still in the lead of this race as of this point. I love this star. It was always mysterious to me when learning this particular star, because if you don't watch the inputs on what happens, you can't really see what's happening behind the corner of the house right there.
Yep, input display is definitely extremely valuable for learning, and that's a prime example. There's a lot of blind jumping and blind movement in this game, and just movement that the camera is not doing a whole lot of favors for you. So good to be able to see those inputs dead on. Now, since Shansss is going for that CCM 17 route, what do you think he'll end up replacing that 18 star with?
I don't know. He could be going for that double pillarless, which is super risky. I don't know if he would risk that going up against the world record holder for 70 stars.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he would, but I mean, we've seen a lot in this tournament, so I would not be super surprised.
For sure. As these gentlemen are heading down into shifting Sandland, gotta grab that MIP star first. MIP's considerably slower on the US version for this first catch. Cheese on the Japanese version, gonna be experiencing that high speed. Was able to get that swag punch grab. That's super satisfying to see as well. Like, dude, come here. Stop running. You know what your fate is. Give me the star, okay?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a strat that when it's pulled off well, it looks so great. Ooh, Shansss narrowly avoiding that box, but beautiful pillarless. I mean, that couldn't really ask for anything better. Let's see how Cheese fares. Getting up over that dune pretty handily.
But taking it easy. Definitely taking it easy for sure. This will kind of solidify what Shansss is doing if he goes for pillarless once again to grab that secret star. No, he's not. He's going to head for the talons.
So,
unsure exactly what he's going to do for that extra star.
You think he might go for Tiny Huge Island Reds?
He may. I mean, it is a possibility. Cheese getting trolled by that shy guy. Gonna have to back it up here.
Definitely not a mistake you want to make here. Shansss making up a little bit of that lead now, but I mean, yeah, missing that shy guy, fly guy, whatever type of guy he decides to be, it's all up to him. I mean, that is a costly mistake ultimately, especially if you go too far and end up dying because of it.
Oh, for sure. Gonna try once again here. He nails it this time. Now, if you're too fast on that, did you know you could actually fly over the bird there and not hit his hitbox?
I did not. That's really funny.
You have to kind of time your movement. If not, you can fly directly over that bird. Shansss heading into Lethal Lava Lands. Gonna play around with this big bully, showing him who's boss right here in the beginning.
Yeah, we see a lot of people save the bullies for later, but not Shansss here. Cheese looks like he's going to be going for the reds first. Smart decision. It's an easy star. Just get it out of the way real quick.
Very quick movement coming from Cheese for these reds. Now, they come in twos. Everything in this stage is in twos, and I believe my my co-commentator, Bedronis, kind of point that out to me, that it's two bullies, two volcanoes, and then two kind of random. Getting the triple from Shansss today.
Oh, beautiful. Those bullies definitely benefiting from therapy, while Cheese kind of missing that jump to get on top of the arch for the logless, but that's okay. Ends up flying pretty well regardless. Now, let's see what Cheese ends up going for next here. He's only done coins and logless, so we'll see if he ends up going for the bullies or the volcano first. I would think bullies.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and head into that volcano.
Now, you got two different philosophies there. Either, you want to take the stage pretty easy at first with the easier stars to build up your confidence and then close out with these harder ones. Or and she's falling all the way down after a successful lava boost. That is rough. I mean,
Yes, it is going to be a small time loss, but you have to remember as well, Cheese as an experienced 120-star runner has great movement heading up into the volcano, so he is going to take a time loss here, uh, but it's not going to be as significantly as you think.
yeah, but that's gotta feel awful. You get lava boost.
Ooh,
Ooh, and Shansss
Shansss!
falling off the elevator, and he takes
Not
a
able-
death here. Man.
Again, it will be a time loss for him. Not huge. They're almost going blow for blow here. He's going to be starting back off in the volcano to try once again for that elevator star.
He
Shansss
just
doing
slipped
very
right
well.
off.
He did slip right off the edge.
We see them both actually going for this elevator start. Shansss still having to do well, actually, he must have done lava boost already because we're expecting him to be 1 star behind.
Yes, he already completed lava boost, executed fairly without any issues at all.
Commentator just apparently going blind. Too busy watching Cheese fail that lava boost. That was, getting lava boost and then falling off the platform that way. That's gotta just feel terrible.
Oh yeah, That's that psychological aspect kicking in for Cheese. It's going to make him feel good. Let's see. He's going to be going in for the bullies. Let's see if he can execute that triple baby, just as Shansss was able to.
Yeah, we've seen so many people have troubles with that, so it'll be nice to see him be able to execute flawlessly, put those bullies in line, but you never really know, honestly.
Alrighty, Shansss wrapping up that red coin. He's going to be moving on. Just as Cheese is wrapping up with these bullies. Let's see what he can do here. Getting them all three together. Nails the triple. Once again.
Just beautiful.
That
Absolutely
was a double
beautiful.
triple. Looks like Shansss is heading into HMC early. Kind of a mixture of old and new here with CCM 17 HMC early. So I wonder, he almost getting Toast Rider there. Number 1. Number 2 wasn't hit by the second one, thank God.
Yep, that's just bad RNG, honestly. You can't really do a whole lot about that. And now, unfortunately, because of this route differential, we're really not going to be able to tell where exactly these guys are at until Tippy. So keep that in mind. Star totals will kind of vary a bit between them, but Cheese, I think, still holding onto that lead pretty handily. But there's a lot that can change that, honestly.
And I think HMC late is not just about that 1 second time save as well. Shansss electing to do Toxic Maze. This is where he's getting that extra star, by the way. And you don't typically see this a whole lot. Missing that dive.
Man. Just having a lot of trouble with those ledge grabs today, it seems.
The Toxic Maze star is a kind of a lengthy star.
Yeah, it's kind of an unusual choice for a replacement, if you ask me. But, Shansss seems to know what he's doing overall, and can't argue with that. Cheese with that nice chest. Let's see how... I'm assuming front sub goes for him. With how often he's gone for it, I'd be honestly surprised if he goes for rear.
Let's see here. Fighting that lag going through, he is kind of favoring that left side, so I'm assuming that he is going to be... Yep, he just confirmed that with that camera change. He will be doing front side sub. Mitigating that lag going through, because I don't know, for some reason, subs just produce lag. It's like swimming through butter.
I think it's just the sheer number of polygons, and I don't know where I've heard this. I don't know if it's official, but I believe that Nintendo didn't care as much about lag in the water levels because it seemed to add a realness to swimming to them.
Oh, that's fair. That's a pretty decent theory. Shansss grabbing that Nessie star.
Ooh, nice dive right into the star.
I do want to remind the viewers to check out our sponsor for this tournament, Vi.gg. Hit !bet. You can bet on all of your favorite runners. A lot of great SM64 action coming to you today, hour for hour. We've got this race going on. Kopitz and Drogi here in about 30 minutes. Right after that, Triforce DK and Retro runs. Right after that, Cheese yet again and Drogi again for the doubleheader today. And Paracuzia versus Toast Rider. Check out Vi.gg. Place your bets as long as you're of legal betting age and you're able to bet within your country. You should be good to go. Vi.gg.
Absolutely, and they're a wonderful sponsor.
Now,
and
did Cheese die?
he must have. That's
He must have commentator enthralled with vi.gg at that point. He must have taken a death there as I look back over and he kind of just flopping on the ground.
yeah, but he must have gotten sucked into that cyclone going for the star, I'm thinking. Now, Shansss, meanwhile, during that same time, getting Christmas Miracle on that first dive, definitely a good thing for him. We'll see if Cheese ends up getting the same, while Shansss is going to be going into his own Triple D, while Cheese entering that Sea of Fire.
Sea of Fire. I love Fire Sea. I love the Bowser fight. Now with the Bowser fight, that's the one Bowser fight that you don't want to miss a throw and accidentally throw Bowser off because it's a significant time loss for you.
Absolutely.
Cheese definitely
Missing that red coin on the platform, that's probably going to cost him early Ellie's. Beautiful movement before that, though.
Going through Shansss, knocking out these chests. It's tough to say who's in the lead right now. I think it's still very, very close. Shansss already knocked out HMC, so he's not having to worry. With a bonk!
Oh, no.
He's going to have to wait on this elevator cycle now. That's really going to cost him.
Yeah, but definite few seconds there. And I mean, to be honest, I was kind of surprised he didn't go for that triple jump setup. I would have thought that, you know, with the way the platform was moving, with the height, I would have thought that'd be your top choice, but I guess not. Having a bit of trouble getting up that pole to grab that red coin. Now, I do want to point out real quick, for a Fire Sea, there's not a whole lot of fire. You see a lot of lava, but where's that fire coming in at? I mean, I know we got that flamethrower, but
it comes from Mario's big, beautiful bottom as he hits the lava, maybe. I don't know.
That is a fair point.
That black smoke's got to be coming from somewhere.
I mean, that booty game definitely on point. I would venture to say it's on fire, so definitely a viable theory from co-commentator. Shansss, meanwhile, going for rear sub and just barely getting off that ledge. I think that's one of Shanss's biggest issues today. I mean, we saw him fall off that ledge in the elevator. We're seeing him fall off the ledge there. It's, for some reason, the stopping power just is not working in his favor.
For sure. Shansss not having to eat any lag being emulator. Didn't have to worry about any camera angles. Cheese finishing up, seeing Bowser for the second time. Gonna meet him once again for the third time here shortly as we finally make our way upstairs.
Yep, and so now we're really seeing a pretty big gauntlet. I mean, Wet Dry World has a lot of beautiful fluid movement, but a lot that can and will go wrong in many cases. Kind of huge island, you know, a nice quickie, but again, that's secrets. There are some tricky jumps there. But when you get into Tall Mountain, that's where things really get real. You see a lot of difficult strats, mountain clip, breezeless if they decide to go for it. We did see Cheese go for it in his last race and get it successfully. But, you know, not all of those breezelesses are successes. And there's just a lot more than that. Getting up to the top of the mountain for that top star can be very challenging, especially that log kick. So definitely we'll want to watch out and see what exactly Cheese does here. Meanwhile, Shansss in a great position in Fire Sea so far, but falling super far down, ending up missing the platform entirely, going down into that lava again. Now, I think that was actually an intentional dive there, but definitely early. I may have been unintentional and he just went with it. Not really too sure.
Going back through, you know, kind of commenting on your tall mountain deal, missing the pole from Shansss, gonna have to jump back up there, feeling that pressure. I think in Tall Mountain, a lot of runners are thinking about what's coming up next. You know, if they're running HMC early, they've only got Snowman's Land headed up into Tippy right after that. If they're thinking about what's coming ahead. You know, they kind of underestimate Tall Mountain just a little bit. Shansss struggling here, getting bullied, getting bodied.
Now, interestingly, I'm not sure if that bonk is going to cost him a lot of time, considering I think he had already missed that cycle, but still rough to watch nonetheless. Fire Sea definitely burning Shansss. But
you know, Cheese staying nice and cool here in Wet Dry World, grabbing these 100 coins, one of my favorite stars of all time.
Ground pounding the spider instead of the blue coin switch, but that's okay. You're gonna need his coins anyway. May as well get them now. Beautiful fluid movement. You get to see so much of the town, aside from downtown, unfortunately, but I mean, it's 70 start, gotta go quick, gotta go fast, and unfortunately downtown is just a little bit too slow for our liking. Now, this movement can be
Wow.
pretty difficult surrounding that pillar. You know, with the zapper coming at you, you're going to have to deal with missing him probably at least 2 times, possibly 3, depending on how you catch him in his cycle. And so, you know, that can definitely be a rough time.
For sure. Cheese heading up. Not really playing it safe on this chuck yet.
Not sure why he goes for that tilted chuck you like that.
Well, it lines him up a little bit better, getting onto the plank. It is a little bit risky. We've seen a lot of runners throughout the race turn to the right to be extra safe because those coins can explode at times. But Cheese wanting to take that extra risk today.
He must really be feeling himself because, you know, there's a lot of risk that's going in his run. But aside from that death on the manta rings, I don't think a lot of it's costing him.
For sure. Going
Now,
back in, I love this star. Doing this star the regular way that Cheese is doing right now is so cool to me. Playing around on the arrows, like it reminds me of a true platformer. The speedrun way, we don't really get to see that. We just teleport up top, do a ground pound, grab the star, and get the heck out of Dodge.
Yep, and those teleports, you know, as a kid, finding those is so interesting. Like, when you find that first one in Bomb on Battlefield, you're just amazed. Like, wait a minute, what just happened?
So I don't know if you saw what Shansss just did there. You know, we talked about his camera manipulation. When he entered in the bottom down there, he entered in on the left-hand side, which gave him a better angle to be able to do the wall jump straight up. It just shows those adaptations on keyboard to make it a little bit easier for him.
Beautiful secrets from Cheese. Not exactly sure if that third secret, you know, going down into that little crevice was intentional, but if it wasn't, backing up super cleanly. Now,
Going over crevices and backing it up for sure for Cheese. As he's headed back into Tiny Huge Island. Gonna take out some plants, doing some weeding.
yep, opting for just one of those happy little kicks before doing those slides. And I mean, I've always wondered how Mario can get that sliding movement so clean. He must have like Astroglide or something coated all over those trousers, because I mean, otherwise, how on earth would you slide so far off just one little jump?
Well, think about it like this. Those overalls that he has survive him from those booty burns. They survive from the ice cold frigid waters of Snowman's Land. And they allow you to slide like crazy. It's Teflon. That's what it is. Mario is sponsored by Teflon.
Absolutely. I'm really surprised he's dealing with DuPont, considering our agreement that the Mushroom Kingdom is an oil magnet. You know, I'm definitely a bit confused on how exactly Mario managed to swing that deal, but hey, maybe Princess Peach realized she doesn't have the best synthetic products around and, you know, let Mario go for that one, as long as he still buys his oil from the castle.
Tackling. All right, not a 1-2 punch. I was worried coming on that side. So a lot of runners, when they see Toad like that, they'll kind of spin around Toad to give Toad enough time to out of the wall. And that's where you see that 1-2 punch to the face to get that star.
But Cheese, ever the pacifist it seems with Toad. Ooh, Shan's barely grabbing that coin that just wanted to go off that edge there. Cheese getting a beautiful breezeless here. Man.
Ooh, fanning myself off. Fanning myself off.
Just beautiful. It's a masterpiece.
Did you just channel your inner Master P? I'm confused.
Oh, a masterpiece. I'm
Oh,
channeling my inner donkey here.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
So let's see. She's going into these reds.
Terrifying to me.
Oh, yes.
Mushrooms, like, you know, SMB with mushrooms was scary. Going through. She's making short work. Great movement going through the reds. Gonna nab this star.
You know, I think the scariest Mario mushroom moment has to be Butterbridge 1 from Super Mario World, because
Yeah.
it's just, you know, you're having to constantly jump to make sure those mushrooms don't rise too far out of your way, and it's probably one of the just worst casual auto-scrollers ever as far as difficulty goes. Nice mountain clip from Cheese.
For sure. Shan's wrapping up his secrets in THI. Now, don't forget, Shansss has already knocked out HMC, so we'll see here shortly Cheese having to go back downstairs to complete HMC and grabbing that extra myth star, just as Shansss is going to decide to do some weed eating himself.
Yes, indeedy. And we see Cheese doing really well on that waterfall star, having to go to the top of the mountain one more time. We did see him having to do that double ledge grab after the log kick, so we'll see if he can avoid that this time. Now, a little fun fact for you guys. That song that Thero quoted from Super Mario World, the name is actually Athletic.
Yes.
Kind of interesting. I never would have expected that before I saw it. Meanwhile, I definitely... Meanwhile, we see Cheese just beautifully going to the top of that mountain. Definitely...
Showing his athleticism.
Yep. Avoiding that secondary ledge grab from the first time. He learned his lesson, showing that mountain's what's for. And not having to do the box as a backup, so he's going for it now. I mean, this box can be frightening to watch. Ooh, he's lining it up, actually. Wanting to make sure he gets it.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at this point. Playing it safe, not wanting to show a whole lot of swag in this race setting. If it was a PB and he was at this point, maybe, cut some time here, cut some time there. But in this race setting, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to play it fairly safe, and that extra bit of lining up, I'm a bit surprised he didn't just go for the more reliable setup of bouncing against the wall, but any sort of lining up you do, that extra half second is really what, if you can ensure your safety through that, that's really what can win races a lot of the time.
Solid movement on that snowman's head.
And we see a lot of people having to go for that backup and even having to go for a backup of the backup, but Cheese not even having it, just wall kicking his way straight to the top, while Shansss looks like he's finishing out that tall mountain, having to go to the top one last time. Ooh, and sliding down this time. Fortunately, staying on that platform gets another chance at that slope.
Now, here's the thing about that triple jump. It's deceptively difficult. Jumping on that slope, that's why you'll see the backup. He wasn't able to recomplete it. Had to speed kick his way up to the top to that breathtaking view. Gonna cost him a little bit of time there.
Yep, but, I mean, overall clean showing, and that's a lot of what you have to ask for in Tall Mountain is just, not the best movement ever, but just movement that doesn't kill you. Movement that is acceptable at the end of the day.
For sure. Going through, Shansss playing excitedly well. It's tough to tell with these route variations, but it's looking like Shansss is in the lead, kind of struggling getting this wall or the side flip wall kick up to the top.
Finally managing it on, I believe that was his fourth try or so. And, I mean, yeah, these guys are probably amazingly close. It's definitely, like you said, hard to see. Cheese demonstrating all those hours of practice on the deep freeze and on the bully there. I believe he said at one point that he practiced that deep freeze star for like 2 weeks or something. And it shows.
It looks like an easy star, but it's something, if you go into that autopilot like we talked about, very, very difficult. For sure.
So Shansss with that nice box jump, so he's exiting Tall Mountain. She's finishing up Snowman's Land and heading himself into HMC, so we're about to see these routes converge.
This is why I think that at this point Shansss is a little bit ahead, or almost dead even, because Shansss has got Snowman's Land and finishing up here in Tall Mountain. Now that time earlier is going to hurt him. He's got to blaze through these reds, but I think it's a lot closer than what we're thinking.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to wait just a couple more minutes for those routes to converge, but depending on when exactly Cheese exits HMC can, I think, give us a pretty great indicator of what exactly is happening. And you do have to remember that once Cheese finishes HMC, he has a little bit more castle movement than Shansss, having to go back to the upstairs before tipping.
For sure. HMC, you kind of get that opportunity. It doesn't go that hard on you. Yeah, you've got the triple box jump, which we see Cheese executing now. But it's not super, super risky.
Shansss opting for the breeze. I do not blame him at all with that triple jump kick and missing, actually, just too far back at the start of that. Man.
Wow.
Oh, and missing
his kick. Missing his kick.
That B input must have just gotten eaten there. And getting grabbed by the Chuckya this time. Fortunately, the Chuckya has a little bit of mercy. He sees what's going on. He says, look, man, I got you. Just throw a couple coins my way next time, yeah?
I don't know if you've been here for this. I've renamed the Chuckya to the Chokya because that's exactly what just happened with Shansss. Like, grabbed him out of the air saying, dude, give me all your coinage. Seriously.
Give me all your speed. I'm going to eat it right up. I see you struggling, but you got to pay the toll.
Shansss heading up for that Snowman's Head star.
Ooh, and it seems he didn't quite get that, or he may have just gone for the backup first. Not entirely sure there. It looked intentional, that dive.
Now, from what I'm seeing here, Shansss is showing a few cracks here. Was very, very strong throughout the run. Had some issues in the beginning, but basement was very solid from Shansss. The beginning of the upstairs was very solid for Shansss, but I'm starting to see some cracks here. Maybe he knows that these routes are about to converge and he's going to have to catch up. Geez, heading back into HMC.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shansss having a bit of trouble grabbing that shell for SSL Reds. SL Reds. Now, because he's getting this, I'm thinking he may try to skip TTC 100.
Well, and I don't blame him. Very movement intensive and super risky in a race setting. If you're more efficient at doing this than TTC 100, I don't blame you. We've seen it throughout the tournament for sure.
My only gripe is that the Stomp on the Thwomp movement by itself is fairly similar. And like I'd mentioned earlier, getting 2 stars for the price of 1, just having to do that little bit of extra movement. But like you said, that extra risk and being so close to the end of a race run, I mean, it can go both ways. It really depends on how confident you are in that star.
Right.
While Cheese entering that star door with his 50, about to go into Rainbow Ride. And we've seen the Lakitu disagree with him before. We've seen all kinds of stuff in his runs. I believe his 120 world record, maybe not this one, but the last one, actually took a death in Rainbow Ride. So
it did. Now, this solidifies that Cheese is currently in the lead, working on manipulating Lakitu here.
Okay, nice bounce. Let's see if he can carry that momentum up the... Okay, has a little bit of a seizure on the bottom of the pole.
That's what Mario does right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the noise has to accompany the visuals, and he's visually having a seizure. I'm not sure, but I guess that's the sound of a virtual seizure.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, if you were impaled in the back by a giant pole as you were being forced onto it to try to grab to it, you would make that same sound too.
Yeah, probably with a bit more of a tortured screaming, but overall same.
Just as Shansss knocking out that deep freeze star there.
So he will be joining Cheese upstairs. So it looks like he's 1 star behind going into the upstairs, which is not a bad position to be in. We've seen so much happen in this Tippy that, I mean, it's really still anybody's game. Despite that pretty heavy advantage, 2 stars it looks like, actually. I mean, it still is truly anybody's game.
It looks like Cheese is very confident up here in Tippy, for sure. Gonna knock out these Reds. Very movement intensive. You can lose some time here, but it's super slick if you can execute it perfectly. These dives.
Oh yeah, beautiful dives.
Great.
Beautiful execution generally. Totally clean. Meanwhile, Shansss gonna go ahead and go for his cruiser crossing a different way. Not bothering with that Lakitu bounce.
This is the they call it the noob cruiser. Going up, getting that wall kick, and heading across. This is also seen in the non-stop version of 70 Star as well, because you're able to just kind of go over, jump into the cannon, and grab the next star.
Yep,
not bad at all.
Yeah, very clean execution. The strat itself is slower, but as long as you execute well, you're not losing that much time overall. But Cheese with that clean swinging in the breeze, just cleaning out Reset Ride. But he's about to enter that big granddaddy, the level of all levels, tick-tock clock. The second that you start hearing that,
anything
things
with slide music. Anything with slide music makes your brain turn on to the anxiety for sure. Cheese playing surprisingly well, turning it on. Had a few issues in the beginning, giving Shansss a small opportunity, but man, he's not letting up at this point. He's hit his stride. He's going in, feeling confident on this 100 coin, going ahead and knocking out TTC 100, knowing what the risk is and how important it is to knock it out.
And honestly, that top-down approach, simply advocates it. I advocate it. It's the best way to do this level because you leave your backups at the bottom, and it's just a great way to handle it overall. It's really intuitive. And by getting this one out of the way, I mean, you're not having to worry at all about the top third at least of the clock after this.
I think that Pity puts it best when he said, "You don't eat an ice cream cone from the bottom." I mean, you may. I don't know about you, but I eat mine from the top.
Well, personally, I like to
carefully.
go in on the side because getting that cone and ice cream together at first, it melds together really well, and it gives you a nice place for you to actually put your tongue to eat the rest of the ice cream from the top to down.
Ooh, Shansss having a backup, getting this star, this swinging in the breeze star, deciding he didn't like his approach, backing it up very well.
Absolutely. Cheese with that super clean 100, so definitely takes a load off his mind, I'm sure. Going for, looks like roll into the cage next, or maybe... No, it looks like he's going for pendulum next.
Hit in the pendulums. Knocking that out. We've seen, I believe Shansss is one of them that does that sandwich. He is doing TTC 100 confirmed right here.
Starting out with TTC 100, let's see if he can get it as clean. Meanwhile, if you have not read the short story Pit and the Pendulums that name is based off of, go take a read. Great little short story from Edgar Allan Poe.
For sure.
We at SM64 and at GSA just love being educated, love having that literary background.
The more you know.
So Shans's 100 coin seems really clean so far. Let's see if he can clutch it out while Cheese going ahead and going for his own get a hand and time jumps on moving bars.
Not getting Inviswald for sure. She's making short work of TTC. We know that he's grinded this out. Being that world record holder, you have to be proficient in tick-tock clock.
And Cheese's Tippy is just legendary. But I mean, from his perspective, at the end of a run, you want to make sure that what you're doing well. And
Right.
this game doesn't really, forgive you at these levels. They're the hardest two in the entire game. So many places to bonk and die. And, it's kind of funny. You start out with the relatively easy stuff when you're feeling good about yourself. And when you start getting nervous, start feeling yourself on that PB pace, that's when they start throwing the real stuff at you.
For sure. Making short work again. Shansss desperately trying to clutch this ending. Trying to make up any bit of time that he can over Cheese. Getting caught up on that pendulum. But able to execute and grab that star.
Yep, definitely, kind of shaky at this point. And with how many stars Cheese is ahead, if he's looking at the stream, I would definitely be feeling the pressure. Cheese going in for those reds. He's got to talk to Toad, and then he's going straight up into the sky. Now, he is less familiar with Bowser in the Sky movement without reds, so we'll see how exactly that impacts him going into bits.
Alrighty, gonna talk to this Toad really quick, just like you said, heading up into bits. Shans's got a couple of stars behind him. He's hoping for a death from Cheese. If not, then Cheese is going to be putting the final nails in this coffin in this particular race.
Yep, he's built it. He's sanded it. He's applied that varnish, all the polish, and he's just getting ready to drive that hammer down. But like I said, not too familiar as far as, 120 star bits reds. He's super familiar with, could do it with like the back of his hand. That commentator mixing up two common colloquialisms, but that's okay.
Colloquially, what?
Colloquialism, like, a basic saying, like, he memorized it like the back of his hand.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. The more you know, once again, the coming from Electric, just as Cheese is heading up. Great movement so far, not having any issues, going to be going up that moving right side.
Ooh, and failing it. But not falling all the way to the bottom. That's the best possible way you could ask for to fail it.
Oh,
but this is not having to fall all the way down to the intro of that staircase. So now Shansss is going in for his last star in TTC. We'll see if he potentially can catch up, depending on how Cheese ends up executing the end of this bit.
Gonna try that right side once again. Nails it this second time. I love that backflip movement up top. Super smooth looking.
Absolutely. And so he's entering that pipe, going to be going for those Bowser throws, while Shansss is about to be entering bits for himself. Now, we've seen Cheese miss some throws in the past, but ultimately it's going to take a death or two in this stage for Shansss to really have a chance at it. But barely avoiding missing that hitbox. I thought that was a miss.
I did as well. But
That
she's
too!
flexing here, knowing
Just going-
exactly where those cylindrical hitboxes are. This one is going to be a miss for the last one. One
Ouch.
more throw, just as Shansss is heading up into bits.
And, I'm trying to figure out who he paid off for the extended range bombs, but he didn't talk to any of the characters in this run,
Nope,
so
he
I don't know.
He didn't. He showed they're all scared of him. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, if
Wrapping it up, look like it's going to be sub 50.
yep.
Solid race time. It was actually 49:57. Timer stopped a little bit late, so nice sub 50 time from Cheese. We're gonna see if we can get him in on the call in just a second.
Meanwhile, Shansss
Just-
going for moving left side, it appears. Yep, and getting it. So he's going to be entering Bowser in the Sky and hopefully having a very clean finish, not very far behind Cheese. And when you're going against the world record holder, a lot of these guys, when they come into interviews, they immediately say, I didn't have any hope of winning. But Shansss, I think he had that hope and, pulling off a great run nonetheless, coming this close to the record holder who just joined us in the call. How are you doing, Cheese?
Cheese,
Hi, Bob.
baby. How are you feeling? I know you were struggling in the beginning, had a headache. We're worried about going into it, and we could see it in the beginning of the run, but somewhere, I'd probably say right around CCM, SSL, it just turned on for you. How did you feel?
Good. I don't have a headache, thank God, so nothing to worry about. It's gone now.
Good. I mean, great performance. Shansss nipping at your heels. I don't know if you were watching the stream at all, but very solid play from Shansss. Taking the lead a couple of times. The route did diverge. He did HMC early, but solid performance from you. Is there anything that you felt that you could have done better on in that particular run?
Well, that upstairs was really, really good. Very, very, very good, except for, of course, Bowser in the Sky. But, I mean, Bowser in the Sky is really, really hard. Well, it's only the death from DDD that really made anything
Right.
bad. Otherwise, because that one mistake probably lost me a minute, so...
For sure. Shansss joining the call now. Shansss, not a bad race time. You were super, super close. How do you feel about that run?
Yeah, I don't feel too bad about it. I mean, I wasn't expecting to win, obviously, and I'm pretty happy with how close I got. It wasn't too bad, so yeah.
Very, very close. Very little mistakes. I know TTM kind of tripped you up a little bit. What do you have any comments on that?
Oh yeah, the praise list stuff. Yeah, that's a bit rough. I don't know. Sometimes it's a bit finicky, and once you miss it once, it can be kind of awkward after that, I guess.
Electric, do you have anything for these two all-star runners today?
It's just amazing watching these guys run. Really great performance from both of you. Now, I gotta ask, Cheese, what exactly happened to cause that death in Triple D?
Well, the Manta Ray Star is very notorious for everything. And after missing the first ring, it's very, very hard to know how to grab the 5. And then I missed it. After missing it twice, I was like, I just thought that I'd rather die and try again, because who knows how long I would have been there trying to get it. So I made a split-second decision in a race setting, because usually in PB attempts I would have reset it. But in a race setting, you have to think, what is the best option here? So I just took what I'm used to, and I just died and tried again.
And it seems to have worked out for you for sure. Now, Shansss, I mean, we saw a couple issues with the Breeze Star and, just little bobbles here and there. But overall, I mean, what do you think went really well throughout your run? What are you super proud of afterwards?
Tippy was really good. I got gold TDC by 12 seconds, so I'm pretty happy with that.
GG.
Yeah, the beginning was good. It's nice to get a good start and not lose a minute in the beginning, but the middle section was a bit rough. But
Well, great performance from both of you. I know it's kind of a relief on your back, Shansss, going forward. But Cheese, you've got that doubleheader today. How do you feel going into that next match?
Good. I'm probably gonna lay down for a bit to make sure that the headache doesn't come back, so I can be able to perform.
I do not blame you. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in the call. Great race from both of you. GG for sure for you, Cheese. Thanks, guys.
Thank
And
you.
viewers,
appreciate it.
make sure you stick around. Vi.gg, our official sponsor, exclamation point bet. Check them out. Exclamation point schedule as well to see what's going on. We've got some Kopitz versus Drogi action coming up next right here on this channel. Twitch.tv/speedrun. Electric, it has been great commentating with you this evening. I'm pretty sure we have a few more matches to do tonight, so I will see you here shortly.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, Thero. Always. Definitely keep it light, keep it interesting, and never a dull moment when I commentate with you. So props for that.
Thanks very much, and be sure to stay tuned in the next couple of minutes. We'll see you soon.
Have a good one, you